Hello, dear pupils. Welcome to the House of Knowledge. My name is Hussein Mujadid, and I'm an English teacher, and I'm very glad to help you with improving your language skills. We have received questions on the topics of the video lessons you watched. So, our webinar includes answers to the most common questions. The topics of our webinar are Trinity, College, Dublin, and computer networks. You've learned a lot about Trinity College Dublin from the video lesson, but there is some extra information and questions that will be very useful for you to know. So, Trinity College Dublin is Ireland's oldest high-level educational institution and is best in terms of rankings. Founded in 1592, it has produced some of Ireland's best-known literary personalities like Oscar Wilde and Samuel Beckett, as well as political figures such as Theobald Wolfe Tone, Henry Grattan, and President Mary Robinson. But this prestigious university still holds some secrets. It wasn't Ireland's first university. Although often referred to as Ireland's oldest university, Trinity wasn't the first established in Ireland. In 1311, Pope Clement V was petitioned by the Archbishop of Dublin to issue a papal grant for Dublin's first university to be built. The medieval University of Dublin was established in 1320, but suffered from a lack of funds throughout the next 2 centuries and disappeared during the Protestant Reformation. It began as a monastery. Trinity College was established on the grounds of a former Catholic monastery, namely the Augustinian Priory of All Hallows, that had been disbanded by King Henry VIII as part of the dissolution of the monasteries. In 1592, the Archbishop of Dublin at the time, Adam Loftus, and several others requested a royal charter from Queen Elizabeth I to create the university there, in order to train new clergy ministers and strengthen the Protestant Reformation. Also, it wasn't always in the city center. Though now at the heart of the city, at the time of its founding, Trinity College was actually located outside and to the east of the walled city of Dublin. As the population grew and it developed into the capital, the city limits spread rapidly. During the 18th century redesign of Dublin, the surrounding areas of Dame Street, Westmoreland Street, and the All-Year Street were established through the widening of formerly narrow medieval streets. It was intended as the first of many colleges of the University of Dublin. Archbishop Loftus was a graduate of Trinity College, Cambridge, and hoped to create a similar collegiate model in Dublin, down to naming the first college after his beloved alma mater. But while the University of Dublin did expand greatly over the century following its inception, thanks to grants from the Parliament of Ireland, conventionally based directly opposite the campus, no other constituent colleges were ever established. Its student body was split by Ireland's rebellion against the UK. In spite of its connection to the Protestant Reformation in Ireland, several prominent Irish nationalists were Trinity College graduates. Theobald Wolfe Tone led the 1798 rebellion and is seen as the father of Irish republicanism. He died aged 35 in a Dublin prison. Robert Emmet led another rebellion against British rule in 1803, for which he was executed on charges of high treason. Politician Henry Grattan campaigned for legislative freedom for the Irish Parliament, while the first President of Ireland, Douglas Hyde, was yet another Trinity graduate. The Catholic Church banned its members from attending Trinity for nearly 100 years. Trinity College opened up attendance to Catholics in 1793 during the Emancipation. However, Even after they were permitted entry to the college, non-Anglicans were still prohibited from gaining positions of prestige within the university, such as becoming a scholar, fellow, or professor for another 80 years. Just prior to these rules being removed, the Catholic Church banned Catholics from studying at Trinity in 1871. The ban lasted until 1970. Its students are afraid to pass under the campanile. The iconic granite campanile or bell tower in Trinity College Front Square was added in 1853, standing over 100 feet tall. Tourists flock to this picturesque monument facing the college's front gate, but students are somewhat more cautious, due to a superstition that states that any student who is unfortunate enough to pass underneath it while the bell is tolling will fail their college exams. On graduation day, a celebratory walk under the campanile is a rite of passage. It has several of its own urban legends. There is a long-standing rumor that Trinity College scholars students who are selected based on a special set of examinations and given special treatment such as free city center campus accommodation are by an old law still entitled to ask for either a glass of brandy or a pint of Guinness, depending who you ask, during their exams. Another version of the mythical law specifies that said student must be wearing the sword at the time. It has a copy of every book printed in Britain and Ireland. The library at Trinity is entitled, due to its status as a legal deposit library, to at least one copy of every publication, free of charge, that is published in Ireland. It is also entitled to any book published in the UK upon request. Established at Trinity in 1801, legal depository status has earned the library a stock of over 5 million books, mostly held off campus but available to order. Trinity alumni continue to have the right to use this incredible service after graduation. Its students have unlimited access to the Book of Kells. Trinity College students have another cultural advantage in that they can view the Book of Kells, also known as Ireland's finest national treasure, free of charge any time they like. The ancient illustrated manuscript containing the four Gospels has been on display in the college's old library since 1661. Entry to view it costs members of the public a fee from €9 upwards, but Trinity students visit for free. The second topic we are to talk today is computer networks. Information. This is the one true universal currency we all carry us every day. Thanks to how computer systems network together, we can share the information we have with others. We can gain new knowledge whenever we are connected, whether it is a wired connection, Bluetooth, or a Wi-Fi link. Computer networking has allowed us to have access to more information than ever before in human history. Although there are many advantages to computer networking, there are disadvantages which must be considered as well. It creates a lifestyle which is dependent upon a technology to gather the information we need to create the lives we want. If something goes wrong with the computer network, then we become isolated, and this action could cause great harm to someone who is unprepared for it. Here are some of the other advantages and disadvantages of computer networking to consider. Let's have a close look at first advantages and then disadvantages. What are the advantages of computer networking? People can share information freely. Computer networking allows individuals and businesses to share information freely with one another. This information can be in several different formats, from files to emails or blog posts to instant messaging. This process saves people time and monetary resource in the passing of information. Imagine the difference of sending a letter through a postal service to sending the same letter through email, and that is the advantage a computer network provides. It allows for frequent collaboration. Computer networks allow multiple people to be logged into the same platform at once. They may be in several different locations around the world, but each person can log into their profile and access documents or files at their convenience to work on them. The modern computer network allows for global collaboration for teams of any size. The cost of joining a computer network is going down. In 1984, the cost of attending 1000 was $1,200. This was one of the first PC clone computers that was intended to be a cost-effective solution for home computing and word processing. Although it didn't have internet access, it did allow for computer networks to form. In 2017, the price of a Chromebook is less than $200 and does allow internet access and traditional computer networks. Computer networking data can be stored offline. With the numerous threats to computer systems, the internet and technology structures, there is a need to store information offline to protect it from those who want it. Computer networks can be connected through the internet via a virtual private network or kept completely offline to protect the system. The data collected, even if it is gathered online, can be stored offline to protect it as well. Anyone can connect to a computer network. There is a minimal skill set required to connect to a modern computer network. If you know how to turn a computer on and then click on the appropriate prompts or shortcuts, then it is possible to join a computer network. The simplicity of joining makes it possible for even young children to begin taking advantage of the information access that computers provide. And the last advantage, computer connections can be personalized. The modern computer network isn't an all-or-nothing system. Access authority can be included with a network so that individuals can access the specific information they need, but don't need to sort through information they don't need. This can enhance employer security, reduce the chance of fraud, while still providing tools that lead to increased productivity. And now let's get to disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of computer networking? It requires a certain wealth to join a computer network. In 2005, the International Telecommunication Union estimated that 51% of users in the developed world were connected to computer networks, but just 8% of users in the developing world could claim the same status. As for 2016, those figures have risen to 81% and 80% respectively, and 40% respectively. Although there have been increases to internet use and computer networks in the developing world, most people still lack consistent access to the information that is widely shared every day. Disruptions can occur frequently. Cyber attacks on computer networks in 2017, referred to as ransomware, allow a small group of individuals to affect the computer networking access of society. By encrypting compute files for small ransom amounts, these attacks create a disruption to the networks that disrupt businesses and individual lives. Viruses and other forms of corruption can be equally disruptive. No computer network is 100% safe from these threats, so proactive interventions must be taken to preserve information access. Computer networking can be addictive. CNN reports that half of all teens in the United States feel like they are addicted to their phones. The average person checks their cell phone over 100 times per day. Being consistently connected to information and computer networks requires a commitment to consume the data that is provided. We have access to more data than ever before, but this also means we are taking less time to relax and unplug from our networks more than ever before. And the American Psychological Association, by the way, reports that 44% of US workers even check on work emails while on vacation. Information availability isn't always a good thing. Online identity theft is one of the fastest growing crime in the world today. In 2016, data on 15.4 million consumers were stolen to create losses of $16 billion. From 2010 to 2016, more than 100 billion in losses occurred. Since 2014, identity theft complaints have risen by 47%. The Insurance Information Institute reports that government documents and benefits fraud is the most common form of this data misuse. As computer networks continue to grow, the chances of having data compromised will grow at the same time. There is little policing on computer network. Not all file sharing that occurs through computer networks is illegal. Piracy is a real threat to the well-being of numerous businesses and individuals. According to information provided by Freakonomics, the cost of online piracy for the economy is up to $250 billion per year. Direct losses in the US are about $8 billion. According to statistics provided by NBC News. Although some see it as victimless crime, those that produce content and hold rights to it do not receive compensation from pirated sharing. Little policing is available on computer networks, however, and what is present is often focused on protecting the physical safety of others. My friends, the advantages and disadvantages of computer networking show us that free-flowing information helps a society to grow. Assuming that proactive systems are developed and installed to counter the effects of the potential disadvantages, a computer network at any level of connectivity will help every society come closer to its full potential. The webinar is over for today. Thank you very much for your attention.